Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our final boarding call, and the doors will be closing soon.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. You're listening to ResortLoop.com. I'm your host, Tim Scott.
I'm Bob Collar.
And this is episode number 20, the double X, as the Romans would say.
Who knew we could make 20 episodes and keep this stride going?
The quality has been unbelievable.
Yeah, eventually it'll go up though, folks.
Yeah, so hang with us.
Yes. Stick with us a little bit longer.
We're just babes.
Promise.
We're just
It'll
babes.
Get better. Oh, very nice. Fantastic. Well, can we throw out some shout-outs before we get the show started? I'm kind of excited about this show.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited about this show because this is near and dear to my heart, as you know.
Cheapy.
So,
Cheapy.
That is not what you call me when we're off mic.
No, but we need to keep our clean, non-explicit rating.
That's right.
Family friendly, my friend.
Show. That's right. But before we get started, let's throw out some shout outs. What do you say?
Excellent. Let's go with it.
All right. I've got one from our buddy Chef Keith. He was listening to our last episode with my lovely daughter Emily.
Yes. Fantastic show.
That was interesting, very interesting. Trying to get a teenager to not say like 1,000 times was tough. But he says, great show. It's nice to get a different perspective of Walt Disney World. I wish we had kids to share that experience with. So Chef Keith, thanks for listening. He's Darth Chef 79 on the Twitter.
Follow him on Twitter, yes. Yeah,
he's fantastic. He's a lot of fun. He's got some great perspectives on Walt Disney World. And see, that's the beauty of Walt Disney World. You don't have to have kids to go to that. We should do a show just about that.
We should. But we won't rent our kids out for the right price.
I tried putting them on eBay. That was frowned upon. Weird. Then I got, real quick, Alan on Twitter. He goes by Norman B8S on the Twitter. This was our Safari Mike episode. He enjoyed the Safari Mike episode. He said, just finished that episode. Was still playing catch up. Enjoyed it as always. So thank you, Alan on the Twitter. That was great. I really enjoyed talking with Safari Mike. That was very cool.
That was one of my favorite shows so far we've done.
Me too. That was very cool. And one more, our buddy Jennifer, she goes by Athena30 Toto on the Twitter. She says she's listened to all the episodes and she enjoys all of them. So Jennifer, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I have a Twitter as well. This is from Michael Nelson. I had mentioned that we had a record day, so thank you, everybody. We've had a couple record days in the past couple weeks, so that's been very exciting for us. Who'd have thought?
Oh, man, it's really cool to see that. That's awesome.
It is, but I said, we had a record day. He said, keep them coming. My 16-year-old and I love them. She's a Disney nut. So I thought that was very nice.
That's cool.
Something the whole family can get along with. Yeah.
I'd like to get her perspective of the teenage the one with my daughter to see what she thought of that.
Yes.
So shoot us a note on that. I'd appreciate that. Yeah.
Cool. And then Beth Ann Roberts on Twitter. She said, I just listened to this episode, referring to the Safari Mike episode. And she goes, I agree with Safari Mike. I love the Animal Kingdom and his ideas were amazing. I wish everyone had that enthusiasm for this park. It's my favorite by far. So thank you, Beth Ann. Or Beth.
There you go. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we, you know what? I have said this now. We had one of our listeners, Gary, kind of called us out on the carpet saying we got to stop yelling about the Avatar, that we need to give that a chance and to hang in there with Animal Kingdom because it gets such a bad rap. And I got to tell you, I got to be honest, after having Safari Mike on and seeing the passion that he has for Disney's Animal Kingdom, I've changed my mind. I cannot wait to go and just spend an entire day at Animal Kingdom now. So I agree.
Yeah, apparently that park's more of a discovery park and not an in-your-face park is kind of what I took away from it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, kind of like Epcot was, if you remember. Epcot was before they put in Soarin' and Mission Space, that was kind of, I always said it was a very nice walk.
Right.
So, yeah, so Animal Kingdom's kind of the same way. So, yeah.
Yeah, take your time. Check out the nooks and the crannies.
Yeah. So, Beth Ann, thank you. I agree with you 100%. So, one more thing before we get started. Can I throw one more thing out there?
Keep throwing, I'll keep catching.
Before we get started on my favorite episode, I just want to throw out another shout out to our buddy over at the University of Wisconsin, Scott. We're going to have to start paying him.
That's right.
Because he's given us a ton of information. Well, just to let you know, Scott, we don't get paid, so neither do you.
You get a percentage of what we get, which is nothing.
Which is nothing, yeah. Anyway, Scott wrote us back a little bit more of his trip report that he went on not too long ago.
Yes.
And he said he checked out Expedition Everest, and in bold letters, all capitalized, he said, "bad shape."
Ooh.
He said, "Disco Yeti." And now the part where you switch from backwards to forward, there is no video of the Yeti ripping up the track.
Oh.
Disappointing. Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts. Love to talk Disney, but this is a sad topic that I do not like to talk about. To think that Disney would let the arguably top attraction at Animal Kingdom and maybe even Walt Disney World for some be this bad, this is sad. So I hope that was just a minor glitch that day,
right?
That Scott was there and that they were able to get that going. I know we've talked about the Yeti and the issues it's had from almost day one, but that's a tough one. That's a tough one because you shut that down, and as Safari Mike said, a lot of those people that want to go to Animal Kingdom for that big thrill ride aren't going to go.
Right.
They're just not going to go. So that's tough. That's tough. I hope it doesn't continue. I hope they can do something there. So, Scott, thank you very much for that follow-up. We really appreciate it. And very cool picture. He sent us a picture of just his family on Tower of Terror. He got to go on Tower of Terror just with his family. No other people were on the ride, and it's very cool.
Very awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, Tim, what is our show going to be about today?
Well, today we're going to talk about some of the feedback we got. We threw out a little note there on the Facebook asking, what do you do to save money or save money either before your trip or on your trip to Walt Disney World? So we're going to share some of our listeners' tips, and then probably in a future episode, I think we'll probably have our personal tips. What do you think?
I think that's fantastic. And I just want to point out to you, see, there are other people like me.
I know. We all try to save. That's how we can afford moderates or deluxes,
Oh, my gosh. Exactly.
Or a snack if we're staying somewhere else. You can get the Dole Whip, little Billy. You can do it.
Oh, my goodness. Well, if you can get that free dining, there's nothing wrong with that either.
No, that's true.
You can eat like crazy. So let me kick it off if I can.
Please.
I'm going to go. Our first one we got from Rob Seilert. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, Rob. But Rob says, I take several water bottles and a few granola bars in my backpack into the parks. Saves probably $15 a day, enough to get you a few Dole Whips. Speaking of Dole Whips.
Oh, there you go.
So that's a good one. We always take in some water with us because it's just, it's so expensive to get water.
That's a good call, yes.
But I did just hear a tip the other day, which is true, from our buddies over at Diz After Dark. All you got to do is go up to any of the counter service restaurants and say, hey, can I have a cup of ice water? And they'll give it to you. It's not, they don't charge you for ice water. So,
yes.
If you're, parched, you can always do that. But I like taking the water bottles because you can just refill those at any of the water fountains. So that's a great tip from Rob.
That is a good tip. Excellent. Well, I've got one here from Ann Toledo Dunnington. She says, we always rent DVC points for our hotel stays. You can get a great deal on a Walt Disney World hotel by doing this. Whether it's through, something through the Diz boards or an actual broker. It says, we're staying in a Standard View studio for a week in the fall for under $120 per night, including tax. That is fantastic.
Wow.
I've always been shy of like renting the DVC points.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to give it a try. We haven't done it yet. I'm just
when we first got this, and we're going in June, I decided, you know what, I want to take a look. I want to see how much I can save on DVC. And I was shocked by how many brokers are out there. There are quite a few. There's the well-known ones, and some of the lesser-known ones, and all of them give you guarantees for the most part, from what I could see. Now, for our particular trip, I was able to get a pretty good deal for the Animal Kingdom Lodge, and to stay in one of the one bedroom suites was still a little bit more. So we're sticking with our original plan, just staying at the the Animal Kingdom Lodge. But yeah, that's a great tip, especially some of those off season months.
Oh yeah. I heard point wise it's best. What, like Sunday through Thursday or something like that?
I think so.
Like the weekends are a much higher points value. So.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
So that's a good call. I'm gonna have to check that out. I've looked at it on the Diz boards occasionally to see what people have points going for at what resorts, and it gets kind of tempting, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. Yeah.
Well, and that is definitely an option if you happen to be going when Disney's not offering any kind of deal.
Yeah.
So there you go. I've got one from our buddy Steve Milsom Payne. Steve is one of the Diz After Dark guys.
Yes. Hey, Steve.
And hey, Steve. So he says when we're over.
Wait, you have to read it with the British accent, right?
Yeah.
No, never mind. I'm just kidding.
Again, I don't speak English. So he says, when we were over last year, it was bottles of water again from Walmart. Now he puts in parentheses, other supermarkets are available. Copyright Diz After Dark.
Props to them. Awesome.
But this is a good tip. This is a really good tip. And if you have a refrigerator in your room, because a lot of them do now.
Yes, they do.
He says, freeze them.
We have done
Put the water bottles in there. Yeah, that's a great idea. We've never done that.
Because, in 90-degree heat, it doesn't take those things long to melt.
No, it doesn't. And you got that ice cold water for at least half of the day, the first half of the day. So that is a great tip. Now he also throws out couponing. I'm guessing couponing for groceries and stuff near, because really I've never been able to find any coupons for Walt Disney World. So now I don't know about the guys from over in England, overseas. They get different deals. They get better deals sometimes than we do here in the States.
Yeah, they do. So. They get special. I think it's because when they come over, they're over much longer than we're over. We discussed that on their show with the Diz After Dark guys. So. Right.
That's right. Yeah.
Excellent.
So. All right.
Let's see. I've got another one here from friend of the show, Sean Woosley.
Hey,
Sean.
It's Sean with the big fish.
He says to stay at a resort with a kitchenette, eat breakfast in the room, come back to the room for lunch and a nap. Works well if you have a party of less than 4, of around 4. Also, once an hour, now this might be a rumor, I've heard this a couple different places. Once an hour, the turkey leg booths will give away a free turkey leg. There are 2 locations in the Magic Kingdom, one in Epcot and one in Hollywood Studios. You need to act like a turkey to get it. This is where I think it might be an urban legend. And they only give away 1 per hour. If you space it out properly, you can feed the family for free.
Sean, buddy,
we love you. We do.
I'm not acting like a turkey to get a turkey leg.
I've been called a turkey. I'll say it. However,
once by me, but only once.
That's true.
I said that once.
I think I was gobbling. So.
I have heard though. Sean is exactly right. I have heard that the folks at the concessions, the ones that are separate from the restaurants, they have kind of a little bit of discretion to give some free food away.
Yes.
Just as a goodwill type of thing from Disney to you. Like if a kid's crying, and maybe the balloon guy can walk over and give the kid a balloon, no charge. So they do have a little bit of discretion there, and So go for it. Act like a turkey in front of the.
I might have to hang out just by a turkey cart just to see if this actually happens.
Exactly. And what if you go up there and 5 minutes earlier, the guy before you did it, and you didn't see that? And
exactly.
So, I don't know, but I love the idea of eating breakfast in the room, even if you don't have a kitchenette. Again, going back to the refrigerator, and a lot of them have refrigerators now. You could put some milk in there. For us, I know, like you, we drive down, so we swing over to a grocery store that's nearby, pick up some, just some small bowls, those little bowls and paper bowls, and some plastic spoons and stuff. The kids can have their cereal in the morning. My wife and I get some Danishes and stuff, and the coffee's in the room now. And it's nice because you can have that breakfast quick.
Yes.
In the room just to get everybody started.
And we've already talked about the water, but buy a couple cases of water if you have your own car and just keep it in your car. Because at $4 a case versus $4 a bottle.
Yep.
You know
it, man. You know it.
Doesn't hurt to have it on hand.
That's right. Tom Henry, he's our buddy over at the mouseaid.org, that great organization that helps
fabulous
folks.
Site.
Yeah, they help everybody or people with disabilities that are planning a trip to Walt Disney World. Great site. They got a lot of great information. It's mouseaid.org. It's mouse with a dash aid.org. But he says our favorite thing to do is they order groceries from a place called the Garden Grocer.
Yes.
And their site links to the Garden Grocer site. But he says by doing this, we save a huge amount of money. And this is what's so nice is the Garden Grocer makes small donation to the mouseaid.org organization so they can help more people enjoy Walt Disney World. So
how nice is that?
Yeah, that's fantastic. He says they order water, Diet Coke, lunch meats, cereal, fruit, bread, etc. The order is waiting at our resort when we arrive every time, perfect in every way. So check that out. That's
nice. That is very nice.
I know that you and I both we work with a guy who's going down, and he was going to stay at one of the villas, and that was his concern. How do I get groceries? We're flying down. How do I get groceries? And here's a great way to do that. You can just have the groceries delivered right to your door.
I've heard good things about this. I'm sorry. Yeah. About the Garden Grocer. I've heard. I can't say I've heard anything negative about them. So.
Well, I know I was checking out their website. And it's a beautiful website, and you just enter your zip code and to see if they will deliver to you. And of course, it looks like it's all around the Walt Disney World property and around the Kissimmee area in general. So even if you're staying off property at one of the houses, vacation homes, places, you could have that done, just delivered right to your door. You don't even have to go and worry about I don't know the area and all of that. So that's a great idea.
That is awesome.
So. Who you've got one?
I've got another one from the other Sean, another friend of the show, Sean Duffy.
Oh, yeah.
You know Sean.
I do. Sean's a good guy.
He is. Man, he says he always buys his tickets from Undercover Tourist, and then he upgrades them to an annual pass, once he gets to the park. That way he only has to buy one pass every 2 years. He plans 2 trips in like a 1-year time period, which if you can get away with that is excellent.
That is an awesome idea. So he's saving money. He's getting the discount off of Undercover Tourist. Then he upgrades to annual pass.
Yep.
Saving some money there because they will prorate the tickets.
Yes, you haven't used it yet. You're good to go.
That's pretty sneaky. I like that.
It's not sneaky if they let you do it.
Well, that's exactly right. Yeah.
And then he also, like you said, he plans 2 trips in that, calendar year period they give you.
Right.
So that is awesome. I know the past couple times we've gone down, our trips have been just past like a 1-year mark, like 53 weeks or 54 weeks, where it wouldn't help us out.
Right.
Now, if it was like a 13-month pass, it would have been all set. But
now, you guys did. Being from Northeast Ohio, you guys took a shot. Didn't you get annual passes 1 year?
We did. I'm trying to think what. I think we were going in it was a while ago because we had a summer trip, and then we were going to do I think it was a February trip. and then another summer trip, but like earlier in the year, probably in like June.
Now, did that make you have anxiety that you got to go more than 1 or 2 times? Did that make you a little bit crazy?
You know what? It's a good feeling. It's a good problem to have because you're thinking, you're thinking, you know what?
That's true.
If I could afford it, we could at least go.
That's true.
You just have to hook up with a hotel, take your Pop-Tarts down.
There you go.
Nothing's wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Well, I remember a young man telling me that him and his wife were driving around. He was off for a week.
Oh, uh-huh.
And they were out grocery shopping or something. They were out and about on Wednesday. Half of his vacation week is gone, but he stayed home in Northeast Ohio. And on Wednesday, his wife looked at him and said, I could really go for a trip to Disney.
Really?
And they jumped in the car, threw the kids in the car, and they drove all night long, and they got there Thursday, and they stayed Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and drove back home so that he could be back to work on Monday morning.
That is a fantastic story.
That guy is a maniac.
I love that guy.
You see that guy every morning in the mirror.
I do. It's not a pretty sight, but he has done that.
I will never forget you saying that, telling me how you guys did that. I was so envious. Oh my gosh.
It wasn't. We didn't even have park tickets at the time, though.
Yeah, you just hopped in the car. You were like, "Let's go."
Yeah, we decided we were going to do it, and then I went to bed, and my wife took care of everything. She called AAA. She took the van to the instant oil change place. Packed everything up. I packed a few things before I went to bed. I went to bed for a few hours. I think we woke up at like maybe 1 in the morning, and we drove straight down.
That is fantastic.
It was awesome.
That's what you got to do.
Everyone's got to do it at least once.
That's that feeling you get when you think about Disney. You're like, let's just go.
You just got to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's one thing to surprise the kids, but it's one thing to surprise yourself and just decide, we're taking the 15, 16-hour drive and just going. Heck yeah. And you and I, we've talked about this. We are so envious of all you folks down in North and South Carolina where, that's a nothing drive. Oh, with like an 8-hour drive? Get out.
That's like going to work. Come on, we're going to Disney for the day. Let's go. Oh, my gosh. I know when we were in Georgia this last couple of weeks ago, we were only 320 miles away from Walt Disney World, and it was killing me.
I was going to say, that had to be painful there. That was painful.
Like 6 hours away. It was something ridiculous. Oh, my gosh. For us, that's nothing. I've got one more.
Okay.
Money-saving tip from a young lady by the name of Patty Collar.
Oh. Well, she sounds quite lovely.
She sounds beautiful.
Oh.
Yes, she does. And is, quite frankly. She says, and this is true, we have found that Disney food portions are huge. And what we do is, and we do this, when we go to a counter service, if we're not starving, if it's one of those deals where we're just, we're not, weak in the knees because we haven't eaten all day.
Right.
We'll just buy 2 meals. And we'll split the 2 meals. Uh-huh. We'll say, what do you want? What do you want? And we'll just split the meals. And that's a nice it takes the edge off so that you can go and enjoy yourself a little bit more. And save room if you've got a shot at, like a Ohana's or something like that. You're trying to save room for a really good meal for dinner that night or something like that. So
that's a good call. Because, in 90-degree heat, you probably don't want to be eating a whole huge fast food meal.
And if you're going to go and ride some of those rides, like, teacups right afterwards.
Don't do that. Don't even think about that.
Forget about it.
Oh, my.
Oh, my goodness. So, but if anybody else has some great money-saving tips, please visit us on Facebook and in our website, ResortLoop.com, and Twitter us and all the other fun places you can find us because we like sharing your tips.
We do. This is going to be a recurring show theme, I think. It's just very important to get the money-saving tips out there because there are so many of them, but so few of them actually get around sometimes.
Oh, exactly.
Like the undercover tourist ticket one, that's an excellent idea.
Right. And, if you're a numbers cruncher kind of person like I am, you start running the numbers and you go, wow, I can really save a substantial amount of money if I do it this way or if I do it this way. Just like with our trip, in June, we're not scheduled. We're scheduled to arrive on Sunday, and we're leaving on Friday. Now, the reason we're doing that instead of a Saturday to Friday, something like that, is because the weekends are more expensive now.
Yes.
Disney changed that whole policy, so
yes,
it's worth saving a couple of bucks just to do it that way, and we're still getting our trip in, and it's not a fortnight, but it's almost a week.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
We'll take it.
It's better than sitting around the house.
Absolutely. Plus, the kids are just getting out of school; they'll have a good time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's awesome.
So
anytime you can go is a good time.
Can I put one more request out to our listeners?
Yes, we want a call for action.
All right, this is our call for action, guys. We have a friend on our website, Dan, who is going to Walt Disney World in May, and he is looking for. He says he needs some advice. He's been to Walt Disney World many times. He's a Disney freak, but he's never been to Disneyland or California Adventure. And this May will be his first trip, and I'm only going to get 2 days of Disney.
Wow.
So, he's looking for as much help as he can to navigate the California parks, and doesn't want to miss anything of any importance. And it will probably be his only trip to the West Coast, kind of like myself. The one Disney trip that we took, he gets an extra day. We were only able to split both parks over 1 day. So we're looking for as much help for Dan as we possibly can. And we're asking our listeners, we're asking you guys, please contact us. Let us know what your tips are for Dan over those 2 days. What does he have to see? What can he skip? As quickly as you can, because we got to get that information out to him.
Yeah, we really want to help him out, and then we're hoping he's going to give us a trip report. Let us know how his trip did go with the ResortLoop.com audience advice.
Absolutely, yeah. So you guys can change this guy's trip. How cool is that?
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Because I know I love living vicariously through our listeners.
Yeah, well, I was living vicariously through you when you guys were talking about your Alaska cruise. I want to do that so bad.
You need to do it.
And we're still thinking about that trip in February, right? We're going to the Caribbean.
I think we're booked. Are you booked?
We're booked.
Oh, I think.
Come on, I'm like 3 rooms down from you.
That's true. That is awesome. I feel sorry for the people between us.
They'll be changing cabins.
Oh my goodness! It's the ResortLoop.com floor on the Disney magic.
There'll be no live stream from there. We can't afford that kind of stuff.
No.
Because I'm cheap. That's why cheap. This is my favorite show. But that's all I got, Tim. I'll have a sweepstakes for us next week.
Sounds excellent. All right, well, we should probably sign off. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Once again, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm ResortLoop.com. You can check out our website, ResortLoop.com.
And Facebook at Facebook.com/ResortLoop. And I am ResortLoop Bob on the Twitter. So keep sending us all that info. We're going to share it with everybody. So thanks for listening.
All right, everybody, thank you very much. This has been ResortLoop.com, episode number 20, your gateway to the magic.
See you, everybody.